Whoa, I got 3 words right here for this RTA, and that is flavor sucking good. That's right, today we're going to be taking a look at this MAGE RTA by a company called Coil Art. Oh my gosh, man. Like I said, flavor sucking good is right, man. The first day I had this, I popped my favorite juice in there and I was blown away. The next day I popped another juice in there and I was still blown away. Next day, same thing. Next day, same results. I've vaped this thing. I've been using this for 3 weeks. 3 weeks. I've vaped every juice under the sun and it's been astonishing. I'm sitting here blown away right now. This is as good as most RDAs out there, if not better. The Avocado 24, that's been like my favorite tank. That one and the Bill V3 Plus. Those two right there have been my freaking go-to tanks, okay? This is better. As far as flavor, it looks a lot like the Moonshot. I know people are gonna be like, you better give the Moonshot some credit because they took a lot of ideas, blah, 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 blah. I mean, there's not that many similarities. It looks similar, okay? This is better than the Moonshot. Now, the Moonshot, it produces great flavor. I'm gonna give it that, okay? But this is better. It's better, and this is more convenient to build on. It's got that Velocity style deck. On the Moonshot, it had that, I don't even know what type of deck that was, but it was a pain in the dick to build on. I put it to you like this. This RTA is giving me the best flavor. It's kicked out the best flavor out of any other RTA to date. So the build I have in this sucker is a .25 ohm build using 24 gauge Canthon vapor at 50 watts. Got her sitting on this Relo RX 200S. I got the airflow 3/4 of the way open all across the board. Here we go. First, the pros, price point, 31 bucks. That's the site. The site that sent this thing to me to review for you guys, that's what they're selling this thing for, and I think it is a steal. 2, best flavor I've gotten off of any RTA to date. 3, this sucker is super easy and convenient to build and wick because of the Velocity style deck, and I'll show you how to wicker. It's easy. Next pro, as far as the airflow goes, you get plenty of it, and it is smooth, man. When I have it wide open, here it is, wide open. I mean, smooth as a baby's bottom. Now, if I start to close it off, let's say about 3/4 of the way open all across the board. Still smooth. And great. Oh man, gravy, gravy, gravy. And now if I close it off halfway, still smooth. I do notice this, when I close it off and close it off even more than that, more than halfway, it starts to get a little bit loud, a little bit whistly. But other than that, I mean, you get plenty of airflow and it's smooth from halfway open. Next pro, this sloped Delrin drip tip is comfy, man. And I gotta give credit where credit's due. The Moonshot, they had that sloped Delrin drip tip and that came out before this. So you gotta give credit. This is a little bit beefier. It reminds me of a pacifier, man. When I was a baby, I just, be sucking on that pacifier. Oh man, you just get in your mouth and you just don't wanna let it go. It's that comfortable. It just contours to the lips. Got off tangent, but yeah, this thing's comfy and it's got this 510 drip tip connector, so you can use your standard 510 drip tips if you want. Looks a little wonky, but it works, and some of you guys may think that's a pro or a con. I think it looks wonky personally, but I don't need it. I don't need my standard 510 drip tips. This is just fine. Man, do I love the size of this tank, the 24mm tank. It's a short, fat tank, okay? That's what this thing is. Now check it out, the Tsunami 24, look at that. They're the same height, about the same height. That's an RDA. This is a tank, guys. This sucker comes with a buku of O-rings and an extra Pyrex tank, so if you lose or break one, you got another one to go to. Every device I've screwed this tank onto has been compatible. Screw down flush, made a connection. Oh yeah, and it looks the tits on all my box mods. So you know the drill. We're gonna go ahead and dive down. I'm gonna show you this thing up close and personal. We'll come back, go over the cons for this tank, and I'll let you know if I lost this sucker today. We're gonna go out tomorrow and buy one. So here she is, boys and girls, the packaging for this MAGE RTA by Coil Art. Pop the lid, and inside we got our MAGE RTA, a baggie of extra goodies, an extra Pyrex tank with a rubber band, and over here we got an Allen key tool. Oh, and check it out, here's a close-up look at that baggie of extra goodies. You receive a buku of O-rings, black ones, different color option O-rings, and some extra screws. Here's a close-up look at the extra Pyrex tank that comes with this MAGE RTA. Oh yeah, and here's a close-up look at the white tank band that comes with this. And of course, here's the Allen key tool that comes with this tank so you can tighten down your connections. And at the base of the box, it comes with this circle user manual, which shows you how to screw on the chamber section onto the base, which I'm gonna show you. Alrighty, so here she is, boys and girls, a close-up view of this MAGE RTA by Coil Art. Now, a few specs for you. She's primarily made of 304 grade stainless steel. She's 24mm in width, and she's 44mm in height with this sloped Delrin drip tip. Here's your adjustable airflow down here at the base, okay? You got 3 slots, 1, 2, and then 3. And in order to
to adjust the airflow, all you got to do is just grab this this ring right here and then just twist, okay? And whatever you adjust on this side is going to be the exact same all across the board. And these holes right here, these 2.5 millimeter holes you see on the chamber inside the tank, okay, that is your feed holes. And here's the slope Delrin drip tip. This thing is super duper comfortable. The bore on it is about 8.7 millimeter, okay, and this comes out. And this thing is top fill. You just stick your dropper in there, your needle tip, plastic needle tip, or you could pour it in there and fill her up. There's the shaft section. Shaft section unscrews from the chamber section like so. Again, that's where you fill her up. It's got a great sheen to it, but this device does not have the smoothest threads. Another pro I do want to mention is this thing did not have that much machine oil or grease on there. One rinse, one wash, and I was good to go. Here's the tank, comes off, that just press fits into the base. And there is your deck section, which we'll get into. So the chamber section unscrews. And here she is. Here's the chamber section. Now this piece right here, this is a little janky. The threads are the roughest definitely on this, and also on the inside in here, that's where the threads right here screw into, okay? I don't know if you guys can see that, there's threads in there. But yeah, there's the chamber section. You got your feed holes, 2.5 millimeter feed holes. And you got these notches, a notch on one side, you see that? Notch, and then a notch on the other. And how those notches work is they line up right here with this notch over here, and this notch over here. I don't know if you guys can see that, but a notch with a notch on each side, and it fits perfect. And how you screw it in, oh yeah, and this deck does spin, okay, see that? It spins to accommodate this chamber section. But here's the thing, the threads on this is janky. You gotta back it out, screw it in to get it going. It's kind of a pain. There we go. But once you get it going, you're good. Make sure she's tight and she won't spin anymore. So here's the deck section for this MAGE RTA. Now I measured it from end to end and it's about 15 millimeter in diameter. And that's a good amount of room, especially for the size of the chamber. The size, I mean, everything is so compact with this device. But yeah, you got this standard velocity style deck. You got 2 millimeter post holes all the way through each post. You got side mount screws, hex screws, grub nuts, whatever you want to call it. You got these 4 millimeter chimneys, comes underneath the coil. Let me show you right here. I got a build, standard build using 24 gauge Canthal, 2.5 millimeter wrap. And look how close it is to those chimneys. It could be closer, it could be lower. And you got these little divots right here, and that's where your wick goes. I'm gonna show you how to wick this thing right now. Alrighty, so I've got our wick. Now all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull the wicks up, and I slide my chamber section over those wicks. Okay, so what I do in order to line the notches up with the chamber in the deck section is I pull the chamber out once I pop it on there and I find the notches. Okay, there's one notch right there, and I know if there's one notch there, there's one directly parallel on the other side, so I'm good. And I just line it up with this notch over here. You see that? Now it can be tricky on camera, but look at that. She slides right into place, and then I just screw her in, and I'm good, man. I'm good. Next step, I'm gonna clip it about right there. All the wicks, separate them, very important. And all you're gonna do is gently tuck each end of the wick inside this cup. And you wanna cover up these feed holes. Nothing has to be jammed in there. It's just tucked. Pop the tank on there. Shaft section screws into the chamber section. Make sure it's completely tight. And all we do from there is fill her up. Screw on the slope Delrin drip tip. No leaking, guys. Zero. It's all about how much cotton you use and how you wick it. Another thing I want to show you, here's the base of this device. It's got a non-adjustable 510 pin. Threads are smooth. And as you guys can see, it says MAGE, designed by Coil Art. So that right there, boys and girls, is a close-up view of this MAGE RTA by Coil Art. Let's go ahead and take her back to FaceTime.
So the first con I found for this tank is this does not have adjustable juice flow control. Now, if you learn how to wick it correctly, you shouldn't have any issues, but it's got to be mentioned. Second con, you cannot change out your cotton or coil while this tank is filled up. And then the third one is the inside threads on the inside of the chamber are janky. Now on to the big question, the big answer of the day. Hey Rip, if you lost this sucker today, would you go out tomorrow and buy one? And the answer is abso-freaking-lutely, even with those cons I just mentioned. Coil Art, you fix those cons, this thing's gonna be even that much better. But that being said, 32 bucks for this. The flavor I get off this, best flavor I've gotten off of any RTA to date, man. And I keep saying that, but it is what it is. Hell yeah, I'd buy this. This is Rip Chippers, and remember, smoking is dead, vaping is the future, and the future is now.